with your support and the regional commissioner here, that we work out ways of how to reduce that 8 hours, probably maybe to 6 or 4 hours, and also look for ways of automating that bridge so that it only closes when there is no ship and it opens when there is a ship. So, Your Excellency, with those few remarks, I thank everybody, my CS. Thank you very much for supporting me and everybody. And I want to commit myself that I will deliver. Thank you.
Thank you, Kenya Ports Authority MD, Captain William Ruto. Your Excellency, sir, ladies and gentlemen, at this juncture, I wish to invite the Cabinet Secretary, Roads and Transport, Honorable Kipchumba Murkomen, to also lead us through the rest of the program.
Asante sana. Thank you very much. Excellency, the next stage will be very brief. Before I invite my friend, the Ambassador of France, let me first introduce the rest of the team that is here. From the port, we have the directors of the board, the new directors of the board. You know Carol here and Jerry Joki. She's the youngest director in any board in the Republic for now. And it signifies your commitment with the President on supporting young people to be able to be part of management of our affairs of our country. Not just another board, the Kenya Ports Authority Board. And then you have one also of the youngest, Osman, who is also a director in this board. And the two of them represent, I think we had an alternate from the ministry. We have the alternates from the ministry. And I'd like to thank you, all of you as a board. Thank you very much as a board for doing a very good job here recently, and I'll come back to that. But I want to say this is a fantastic board. We're very happy that Your Excellency, yourself and the President made sure that we establish this board so that the affairs of this KPA can be properly managed. We also have various officials from various departments of government. I don't know if we may stand. And other agencies of government, board members, chairs. Yeah, very good. We have, thank you very much. Yes, we have Kenya Maritime Authority fully represented here. I don't remember all names, so if I pretend to remember one person, the chair of KMA is here, the chair of Coast Water Development Authority, Mzee. He's a Kijana, but he's called Mzee Mwinyi. I don't know why he's Mzee and then Kijana at the same time. And then we have, if you may shout your names, sorry, I didn't. Thank you very much, Nimo. We value your support. Oh, thank you, Mr. Muraya, Bandari Maritime Chairman. Yeah. Amizi Maguya is the chair of the KMA. Omingo is the acting DG KMA. We've not met, so I could not remember. Pardon? Oh yeah, the vice chair of the Workers' Union. Fantastic. Very important constituency at the port. In fact, I'm very concerned that I don't know you properly. And then Coast Water, Mr. Mwaima, Director Coast Water. Thank you. Yes, of the Youth Fund. Yes, thank you. And then, yes. Shambo, on behalf of the Shipping and Maritime Department, thank you for representing the PS here. PS Mwadime, Shadrach Mwadime. Yeah, Marion from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Marion Koske, thank you very much. Very good. Now, I just wanted to be sure that public officials who are here are fully recognized. Before, again, I invite the ambassador, I'd like to introduce my PS. Our PS, Mohammed Daga. Please come and say one word. Wewe ni kijana hapa nyumbani. And you are actually the one somebody sitting on your behalf at the board. So you're a board member officially. Please say something.
Asante sana, Honorable Cabinet Secretary, Your Excellency. This is great business for this particular thing. Where I come from, 90% of the international commerce is done from the sea. We are blessed to have two huge international ports. One based in Mombasa, another with two entryways in Lamu. We also have very good port in Kisumu, where Captain was from before he came to Mombasa, even though we control 6% of that Lake Victoria. But we have very good plans together with our KMA and our State Department of Shipping and Maritime to ensure that commerce is robust. And we're happy to have CMA, CGM here. We have been engaging with them and we're happy to carry out this conversation more and more. So asante sana waziri. Thank you, Excellency.
Thank you very much. Pigeni makofi. PS Daga is from Mombasa County. And now I would like to invite the ambassador of France to Kenya, or is it of Kenya to France? Because he's a very good friend of mine and a friend of Kenya, and a good Swahili speaker. When he speaks two words, you think he knows all the words. Ambassador Arnold Seku, please welcome. Asante sana.
Mheshimiwa Naibu Rais Rigathi Gachagua, Mheshimiwa Waziri Murkomen, my dear friend, Mheshimiwa Waziri Machogu, Mheshimiwa Waziri Eastern Community, Madam Rebecca. I also like to appreciate, the new director of the port, Mkurugenzi Captain Ruto. Thank you for hosting us. I'll just like to say first, Hamjambo. It's a pleasure to be here and also recognize, obviously, everybody, Mabibi Mambwana, and people from CMA and the delegation from France and all protocol observed. It's a pleasure to be here today and with the presence of such high delegation from Kenya led by His Excellency the Deputy President. I think it's also a blessing because it's raining. The last time we met, Your Excellency, we were crying for rain under the Maasai sun, and I think this meeting is blessed by this needed rain. Let me just tell you, I won't be too long, but I just want first to say thank you to CMA, CGM, because I think to have brought this ship here in Kenya, in the port of Mombasa, speaks volume on the operation you're currently doing and what you can do. And the representative from CMA, CGM has also expressed his willingness to do more in the framework of the expansion of the port. Let me just say one thing we did this morning. We went to the Bandari Academy, Maritime Academy, and I can see the chairman here. And CMA and the Bandari Academy have developed this partnership program whereby CMA takes on board some of the cadets of the academy. And to be a seafarer, you need to be basically on sea. And CMA CGM has provided internship whereby this very qualified Kenyan continue their training and refine their skills on those boards all around the world. And so you have this capacity then to upgrade your skills, which brings you into employability, and I think this is a very, very good program. I heard that we already trained a couple of cadets, 7-5, but an agreement has been signed between the Bandari Academy and CMA CGM, and they want to expand this partnership. And I think, as for France, we want to invest in human capital as well, and we want to be a partner in human capital, and we'll support this program. Number two, I would like just also to say a few words on the economic French presence here in Kenya. We had EU-Kenya Business Forum. Our Minister of Trade was here. We advanced a lot of issue and discussion. But at the end of the day, the driver for our partnership in trade and investment is the private sector. And I must say here in Kenya, we have a growing and dynamic ecosystem of French and Kenyan companies working together. We have 130 companies now in Kenya. France has been the 5th foreign investor, investing in 2019 about $1 billion for an investment and creating around 38,000 direct jobs. So I just want to mention that. I'd like just to appreciate the presence of some of those companies that are here. I can see Vinci, who's interested in roads. I see Rubis, that I think everybody here knows because you're driving, so you need to get fuel. I see Créadev, which is an French investment fund actually investing in Kenyan companies and providing capitals. I see AGS in logistics. I see Essilor, who is producing very much needed glasses for people who have impaired vision, like I do. I see Biomérieux, who's developing also medical solutions. And also, as we have France, I see Julie, who's also selling French good wine here in Nairobi. So I just want to say thank you to them. I just want to say last point related to the drought, because Your Excellency, we had conversation about that. Those good people of the French private sector are now about to start this program of renovating borehole in Assal regions, putting their money into that. So we're going to start in Marsabit country. We're going to rehabilitate 5 boreholes touching 30,000 beneficiaries in the county of Marsabit. So I just want to thank them. Asante sana. I want also to thank you, Your Excellency, and your August team. Rest assured that France will be a reliable long-term partner of Kenya. Asanteni sana.
Thank you very much, Balozi, for that very good speech. I'd like to recognize my colleagues here. They just told me they just want to be recognized. They don't want to say much. You have CS of CS of education. Okay, we have the CS of East Africa and arid and semi-arid lands. CS and my senior colleague in the legal profession, Rebecca Miano. PKA Makofi. CS of Education, Honorable Ezekiel Machoko. You want to say something?
Your Excellency, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, I thought we might miss something out as Kenyans, because as we were engaging with my brother Kibuchumba when we were up there, he asked me a question which I thought is the one who would have had an answer. He said, how many years do you think this particular ship took for these people to build? And I was asking myself as Kenyans, because I think either we missed a step, because the human development started as gatherers and the hunters, and then we came to agrarian industrial revolution. We are now at an information age. Where are we as Kenyans? Where are we? And Machoko cannot even be able to assemble a bicycle, and the Kibuchumba, and you can see the miracles here, Your Excellency. The second issue which came to my mind, which is also troubling me up to this particular time, is the containers. When they come with the imports coming, but going out, they are going empty. And this is what Your Excellency and His Excellency the President of the Republic of Kenya is emphasizing on production. What is it we can do as Kenyans such that when they are going out, the containers can be able to go with something, because that will be the only road to recovery. Otherwise, unless we do that, then we are a consuming society, which by the end of the day will not be solving the many challenges we have. So, Your Excellency, that is what I wanted to say, that the human mind can do anything, But I think mine and Kibuchumba is still limited, that we can't even assemble a bicycle. I think we require to think more. Thank you.
Vigeni Waziri wa Elimu, makofi. Your Excellency, the Deputy President, we are assembled here for a very important function. This function is made possible because of the partnership between the KPA, our ministry, and our government with the private sector. Our country needs strong support of the private sector, considering the challenges we are facing. When you and the President came to office, it was clear to you and this government that we would no longer continue doing business as usual, and that we would no longer continue borrowing to be able to enhance our development. And our borrowing could not continue unchecked. And as a result, you decided that this government shall leverage on the private sector. That is the message we always get from you, from the President, from the Cabinet, that we need to leverage on the private sector. That is why this function is extremely important. Because if you see this shipping company, the CMA, CGM, they play a very, very critical role in the shipping sector. And particularly CMA, and I'd like to thank the Vice President here and the team, Javier. I hope I get to pronounce. I'm not Larry Osego. Somebody was whispering to me whether he's a West African or a Kenyan, the way he was speaking French. But we want to thank you for believing in this country and doing business in this country for the last 20 years. But most importantly, for the strategic benefit you bring when it comes to transshipment. The Lamu port at the moment enjoys your support because you are the leading company in terms of bringing business to Lamu port. And I believe that with the conversations we are going to have between you and the ministry and the other shipping companies, we are going to enhance that business sector. And therefore, we take this opportunity very seriously. Your Excellency, you know, the ambassador, when he was introducing the French business community here, I was very delighted because they not only came here because of the belief they have with one of the companies here, but also on their own right. Most of these French companies are supporting our economy. I see my friend here from one of the French companies. We're having a long discussion about development of road infrastructure, and I hope we close in very soon. I saw Cecil noting when I talked about private sector, so I really wanted to recognize that she's here. And so we think that through the private sector, we can be able to do more. Number two, Your Excellency, I'd like to say this because I know you will give the rest of the position for our government. Number two is to communicate to the KPA community. Sometimes get mixed up with the Kenya Ports Authority Board. KPA community here, that we come in and under the directions of the President and yourself and the work we are doing in the ministry, we've managed to solve the first problem that has dogged this KPA for over 5 years, 6-7 years. This port has never had an MD, a substantive MD, for more than 7 years or so. Because I know even before Mandugu came in, he came in as acting, and there was an acting person, and so forth and so forth. In a record 6 months, we now have substantive KPA managing director in the person of Captain William Ruto. And through the two board members who are here, I want to thank you for the good job you did. When the report came to me, I did not hesitate to clear his name and gazette his name because the results were speaking for themselves. In fact, for the benefit of the people of Kenya, when I came here, the first visit I visited the port after appointment, everybody was telling me, bring back Captain Ruto here. They didn't say at that time that he should come as an MD, but everybody appreciated the work he was doing here before he was moved to Kisumu. And I kept telling them, even Kisumu is important. It needs somebody who can work. And I believe that the board did a fantastic interview. The MD has a very onerous task. Number one is to make sure that we maximize on our human resource. Our human resource here is extremely important. At some point, because of interference from the ministry, where now I am presiding over, a lot of mismatch was done within the management of the board, of this port. And as a result, many people felt that their talents and energies were not being utilized. MD, you have a serious task to make sure that the over 6,000 workers who work at this port, 7,000 actually, are feeling happy and ready and committed to deliver services to the people of Kenya. Number two, efficiency. You have a duty to ensure that this port becomes as efficient as we want. I know we are doing now 1,400 TUs in this port, but you have a task to make sure that we double in the next 3 years. Before you come again and ask the board for a renewal of your mandate, we make sure that the next 3 years we have at least above 2,500 TUs of 2.5 million, sorry, TUs be operating from this. Did I say earlier 1,500, 1.5 million and 2.5 million in the next few years. Number three, I like to say this, that we want to make sure that this port is free of corruption. And the best way to make it free of corruption is to, as much as possible, make its payment systems transparent. We want you to make sure that you utilize technology as directed by the president to make sure that the payment systems in this port is not the old receipts where it's not accountable. We want accountability. We also want this port to make sure that you maximize on every space that is here to ensure that we gain and get business. All those hidden sources of revenue that people have been taking away resources from us, want to make sure that this port can do better. This port at the moment only has a surplus of sometimes 2 million, 2 billion, 3 billion, 5 billion. It has a potential of having a surplus of over 20 billion. And you have a responsibility to make sure that those resources are raised to support other sectors of the economy. Your Excellency, in closing, I want to say that before I close, I want to thank CMA for the work they are doing. I have been informed, and which information I believe to be true, that they have been supporting 6 members of cadet team as part of their CSR in the recent past, and 6 of those are trained in presently from Bandari Maritime Academy, and they have been with them at the sea for 6 months and 2 months on land. Are they here? Yes, they're here. I am unable to mention their names, Your Excellency, because I was not given the names, but the 5 out of this, is it? Are they 5 or 6? Yeah, 5 out of the 6 are here present, and we want to thank you for that. Please clap for the trainees. Please, thank you. You may be seated. You've been told how long it trains somebody to become a captain. We were shown here that the gentleman who was piloting this ship has just become a captain 4 years ago, full captain, after 15 years of training. So this is an important resource for us as a country. I do not wish to say more than that. I just want to say that His Excellency the Deputy President will mention the other issues we are doing here. You know, we are expanding the port in many ways. Yes, I had the last point I wanted to make. Under your directions on the President, we believe that we can leverage on the private sector on the development of this port. We have a discussion with the board, with the management, with the ministry. There was processes that were initiated before that makes sure that the berths that are not productive are put the Lamu port. The Lamu port, to address the question that CS talked about, supply side, the Lamu port and the special economic zone in Lamu, we want to make it functional in this. The only way we can make it functional is the private sector. And partnering with teams like CMA to bring their partners across the globe to come and invest in the special economic zone, not just in Lamu, but also here in Dongo Kundu, Your Excellency. You know that we are building the process of building a new berth to support Dongo Kundu is now at advanced stage. We are working with the Japanese government. In the next few months, the contractor will be on site because the procurement processes are in the advanced stage, and we'll be building a new berth there to support the SEC. The Ministry of Trade and Investment is working hard to make sure that we have investors there. And again, CMA, we invite you with your partners to invest in the SEC. That way, the container will not just come and go back empty. It will be coming full and go back full. That is the promise we want to give the people of Kenya. Without much ado, Your Excellency, and without saying too much, we are very happy with the rain, by the way. We don't mind if it makes noise, if it does what, it becomes cold. We thank God for the rains. And therefore, without saying much more, join me, ladies and gentlemen, in standing up to invite His Excellency, the Deputy President, Honorable Rigathi Gachagua. Pigeni makofi.
Thank you. Please be seated. Matters of the sea are very complicated. Let me read some notes so that I don't get confused. It's difficult matters. The Cabinet Secretary for Transport, Infrastructure, Principal Secretary for the State Department of Transport, Mohammed Dada, CS for Education, Ezekiel Machogu, CS for East African Affairs, and Asal, Rebecca Miano, the French ambassador, my friend, and Yusufu Nyamachoma within Kajiado. I'm happy to see you. The CMA, CGM, Senior Vice President, Sabi Raila, the CEOs of 14 French companies in Kenya, Kenya Ports Authority, Board of Management, Managing Director Captain William Ruto, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure joining you this afternoon on your visit to the port of Mombasa. Being business people, this is an opportunity for you to see what the port has to offer in your investments in Kenya, the East African region, and indeed the African continent. Over the past decade, the government of Kenya, through public and private partnership, engagements with the development partners and governments, has expanded the port of Mombasa to accommodate more and bigger vessels, delivering thousands of containers annually. It has also revitalized its operations to ensure an efficient, effective clearing and forwarding regime, making it one of the busiest but smoothest ports on the continent. Your assessment of the operations of the port today is also an opportunity to identify areas of partnership with us, as well as understand our strengths to grow your business. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we are proud to host you, Chief Executive Officers of leading companies in Kenya, because you want to enhance businesses for the benefit of the people of the two nations. Indeed, France is the 5th largest investor in Kenya, accounting for at least 10% of the total foreign direct and indirect investments. With more than 130 French companies in the goods and services sectors, hundreds of our young men and women have jobs. This is a direct benefit to our economy. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Kenya is France's leading trading partner in the East African region. For instance, in the year 2021, we exported goods worth $90 million to Paris, which was a rise from $87.03 million in the year 2020. On the other hand, we imported goods valued at $205 million in the same period. And clearly you can see there is trade imbalance, which your visit here this afternoon seeks to address. Under the Kenya Kwanza plan of transforming the country, we are working on reforms in some key sectors, including coffee and tea. our ambassadors and heads of missions across the world have been tasked to market our products as well as seek new markets and investments, and France is no exception. And indeed the wider European Union and international market. With tea and coffee being our leading agricultural export, ongoing reforms will result into more production. As external markets for Kenyan productions grow, there will be more demand for service from CMA CGM, a shipping company that has a firm establishment in Kenya. With more than 584 vessels docking in 420 ports in 160 countries across the globe, it will surely be one of the biggest logistical partners linking Kenyan farmers and producers to consumers in France and elsewhere in the world. Your Excellency the Ambassador, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, on May 30th, 2019, Africa opened a new chapter in trade following the coming into force of the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement. The first transaction under the Trade Pact took place in January 2021. This pact exposes Kenya to a market of over 1.3 billion people on the continent. As you may be aware, Kenya has already sold tea to Ghana under this framework, and Kenya seeks to enhance its trade ties with the continent. The tentacles of CMA CGM are critical, hence the need for closer links and partnerships in penetrating the new business frontiers and markets. Your Excellency the Ambassador, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, over the last decade, Kenya has rapidly developed or improved its transport infrastructure to ease movement of people, goods and services within the country and beyond. The Lamu, South Sudan, Ethiopia Transport Lapset Corridor is operational, linking Kenya to the surrounding countries, including the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC, which recently joined the EAC. CMA CGM shipping line has already processed more than 60 shipments through the Lamu port. This is progress, and it is important for us to identify investment opportunities for public and private partnership to full realization of the LAPSEC. President William Ruto, during his visit to Paris in January, held talks with his counterpart, President Emmanuel Macron, on enhancing trade ties between the two states. The companies here and across the East African region have a starting point in crystallizing down to various investment projects, including the blue economy. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude, I want to assure you that President Ruto and the rest of us are friends of investors. We are progressively opening the business environment to ensure a win-win situation of foreign investors and the people of Kenya. I want to thank you. Asante sana. So I want to extend a hand of friendship to our business partners from France. Please, this is your country. We have people who are very hospitable, and we want to invite you to come and invest here. Where you are in Mombasa, we have beautiful beaches and it's a holiday destination. So as you make money here, also spend most of the money here so that you can leave it with us here. So I want to invite you to come and invest here so that you can help us grow our economy and create employment for our young people. The Ruto administration has created a good environment for business. We have instructed our officers across government to do away with red tape and bureaucracy and make it easy to do business in this country. We have made very serious reforms in this port of Mombasa. We have put it, the board in his own wisdom has recruited a new managing director, Captain Ruto, who has a proven track record of performance. And we have asked the new board, and we are happy that his appointment has been well received by all stakeholders, from the dock workers union, the shipping lines, clearing and forwarding agents, the workers themselves. We are happy that the board did a good job to pick somebody who has gained acceptance within a very short time. And we are pleased to note that you, the owners of this ship behind us, have confirmed to us that since he came on board, there has been a lot of efficiency around the operations of the port. And we are challenging the new management to even do much better and to make this port the destination of choice in the African continent, so that anybody who wants to do business, to bring goods anywhere in Africa, finds the port of Mombasa as the destination of choice. Ours as a government is to assure the new management, the managing director, of our support. We'll support you, whatever changes you want to make, whatever programs that you have in terms of seeking out projects on public-private partnership of our government, because we want this port to be very efficient and we want to increase the volume of business so that eventually we can also increase the number of people employed in this port. So we want to say we are very happy, and our French brothers, stay a while in Mombasa, don't go away too quickly. We want you to leave us some French francs so that we can improve our foreign exchange reserves. And I'm sure our people here are very hospitable. I know you already know that. So I want to say thank you very much, Ambassador. It's always a pleasure, and I really want to thank you for the boreholes you have agreed to sink in northern Kenya. And I'll look for you to give me an extra one borehole. There's somewhere I promised a borehole. I have not been able to get somebody to help me. You can talk to our friends here. You can help me with an extra borehole to make them 6, isn't it? Is it agreed? Where is that guy who was talking English and French? Is it possible? No. We know in this country the way we work, we like you say it's possible or not. So that if it's not possible, we look for some other people. You take care of it. Okay, wapigieni makofi. Thank you very much. I want